So I've been trying my damnedest this Octember to ward off Octember. And slowly, here we are, the middle of Octember season, which, by the way, goes from the middle of September to about the middle of November. Okay? So it's not just the 4 weeks of October proper, it's 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after, so it's 8 weeks of this hell. And we're only halfway through. In the previous video, I explained about some health issues that myself and the WIF have had, and also my father. But there are other failures that I have had over the last count them 4 years, that could clearly count as Octember failures. Because they were big. Okay? Really big. Let's go back to 2022. It was May, I think, of 2022. Yep. And the WIF was involved in a car accident. If you never saw that, there's a video in the prescription. A link there. It was awful. I never told the after story of that. That was more gory than the accident itself. It happened in May, but that's a big enough ordeal that counts as an Octember failure. Okay? So I've been getting hammered with this shit for the last 4 years. So that was 2022. In 2023, in the summer, in the month of Slime, the upstairs central AC went out. Right when I had people over. Great! That was a big one. That cost a few bucks. So that was a great Octember failure right there. I'm not going to be running the AC in October. It's got to happen sometime. So maybe it was looming for me. 2024. July 3rd. The WIF left her job. She resigned. She had taken this position back in January of that year. And everything came to a head. And now she's out of work. I still had a mortgage. I still had all the bills coming in. And we had essentially no income. We had the money I got from YouTube. And the money I got from YouTube. And that was it. So that drained the bank account. It took 3 months. But she ended up having... The story ends up with a silver lining, which is that she now has the job that she has currently. And everything with that is going well. She's making the same or better money than she was before in her previous job, and that was certainly sustaining everything just fine, and that continues to this day. Whether or not that job will stick around, we don't know. It's here for now. It could go away. In December, they put a, going to start the new year soon, and we're throwing money away in these areas. So you're gone, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone. There's layoffs. They did a round of layoffs, and it's actually funny because they did the round of layoffs, and it was the same kind of thing. My dad told me this story many times when he was working, that they got a whole bunch of guys in the room and they said, "You're gone, you're gone, and my dad was in the middle and was not fired or laid off. And that happened a few times. That is very nerve-wracking. So the whiff was not chosen to be laid off, which is great. So there was that. But we don't know what happens this December. Well, the same thing? I don't know. Last December, after they did that, these people that were laid off, a couple weeks later, somebody said, wait a minute, Jim did what? He got rid of who? No, 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 no. And they contacted all of those people. And they said, we'll give you your job back. We didn't mean to lay you off. We made a mistake. Whether these people would want, more money because they fucked up or anything like that, but none of them said, okay, you know what? Take your job and fucking shove it. And they left. They're gone. Have they hired anybody to replace those people? No. No. That doesn't bode well, but for now, things are okay. And this year, in 2025, also in July, the Big Six got a check engine light. That's bad. That's not supposed to happen. It can't do that. And fortunately, in the end, it was a bad oxygen sensor, and that was replaced, and I also needed some exhaust work done, and it cost hundreds of dollars, but it had to get done, and it did, and it's fixed, and it's been fine. But that's still a big failure. So jokingly, I said to Lexmarks, because he's here in July every year, I said, so 2023 the AC went out, 2024 the whiff left your job, and now this year in 2025, it's you, man. It's a joke. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So this year, in light of that failure in July, I said, all right, so we're getting into Octember season. I'm just going to really lay low. I'm not going to start any projects. I'm not going to get into anything really involved. I'm not doing anything too important anywhere. Nothing. I'm just laying low. You need to use the stove, you turn it on, you use the stove. You need to use the microwave, you turn it on, you use the microwave. The coffee pot, the computer, this and that. You just use what you use, do your thing, just kind of tread lightly, and yet still we had other Octember failures. So it didn't work. But sometimes you can have a big enough failure in your life that doesn't happen anytime around Octember, but it's still an Octember failure. Or can count for your Octember failures like that. So for me, it's been happening in the spring and summer. Over the last 4 years, that's a hit, okay? That's a hit. All of those were big, big ordeals. I don't know how else to explain it. It's not as simple as a burned out light bulb. It sucks, I get it, okay? But you change the bulb, you're good. It's not the end of the world like that. Unless it's a special bulb, meaning incandescent, CFL, halogen, maybe high pressure sodium or metal halide or anything non-LED. Okay, if you have an LED bulb and it goes out, it was made to go out. It's destined for the fucking trash to begin with. And it was trash when you put it in, okay? That doesn't count. That just doesn't count. Dead batteries, it depends. Dynatrack had 2 dead car batteries to deal with. It happens. They were kind of end of life. But it happened in Octember. Does that exactly qualify for it? I'm kind of on the fence about it. I've been a lot more lenient about stuff like that. But because I've been so lenient with that, but yet have had these huge failures throughout the rest of the year, now everything is a failure. And I have 2 more that I'm going to show you in upcoming videos. So stay tuned for that. I thank you very kindly for watching, and I really appreciate it. Make sure you click like. Make sure you click subscribe. Ring the bell for Ardleys, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.